the McDonald Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I had a very juicy, exciting last 24 hours or so. For those of you that listened to the show Tuesday, I had the hilarious Justin on, and I kind of did this weird thing to protect myself because I didn't want to out and out say what was going on with Bethenny Frankel and Meredith Lynch, because the truth is the bee scares me too. And now I will explain the story of what happened. When I get all glammed up, the one thing I got to do is use my Lumino strips. Final thing, look at this perfect smile. Just finished my makeup, and while I do my makeup, I use Lumino. This is one of the strips. This is part of my routine. I put it in while I do my makeup. I take it off. What I love about Lumino is that I used to really suffer from the sensitivity with other whitening strips where I'd feel it the whole next day, and I'd be doing a show, and it would be like in my head about it. Not with Lumino. And in fact, I just went to my dentist for my teeth cleaning, and he asked if I was cheating on him and if I got a professional whitening process, you know, where you pay lots of money for it. No, I just use Lumino. I love their whitening mouthwash. Also, because it's natural ingredients, unlike other teeth whitening brands that kill 99% of bacteria, you don't actually want all that bacteria gone, because some of it is really good for you and it keeps you from getting diseases and fighting back other potential illnesses. And where do they come from? Through your mouth. So I really think that is something very important that not enough people talk about. So I want you guys to check out Lumino. You are going to love it. You're going to see a huge difference. So easy to use. And right now, you need to go to the link right here in my description box. Smile. Meredith Lynch is a really great creator on TikTok that I've been following for a while. And in fact, we've DM'd a couple times on Instagram when I've been like, I like your stuff. So I followed her and I see that she does this post where she says a certain, Real Housewives of New York has sent her cease and desist letters. Very obvious it was Bethenny. And I reached out and I'm like, what is this about? So we talked on the phone and I was like, holy shit, this is really disturbing. Because I watched all of these, anytime she mentioned Bethenny, and it was her discussing things that are of public record, like things that Bethenny has trademarked and stuff. And she brought up those trademarks like it's a scam to just say, oftentimes celebrities come on here and everybody wants an origin or, oh, this was such an organic situation that happened, where Bethenny is famous now for trying all these different kind of makeup products from the most expensive to the least expensive. And she'd be like, this is a scam. And so Meredith was just bringing that up. She also brought up other things about her Skinny Girl food products, and that, Skinny Girl in general is to change your body, change the way you look, whether it's a shapewear or whatever, which again makes Bethenny quite hypocritical to constantly be criticizing people like the Kardashians for the fact where she's like, when is it enough? How many more products do you need? When are you rich enough? When are you skinny enough? When, you're dysmorphing your body, you're bad for people like my daughter. When she created a whole business telling you that you're skinny. She also hates cheater brands. Remember how mean she was to Sonia when Sonia wanted Tipsy Girl? That's what she does. And I've always thought she was a hypocrite. That's my opinion. I think that is hypocritical behavior. Nobody else saw that in the world. It didn't appear to be. So let her go on with her things. Page 6 wrote about her at least twice to 3 times a week. Thought that was weird, but they do the same for Megyn Kelly. Whatever, who cares? So but I'm still following her. Listen, I think Bethenny Frankel is smart. I think she's funny. I enjoyed her on the show. I think she's a hustler. I also think she is completely out of touch. I think she's an elitist, and I think she's a bully. And I think she does not support women or anyone that's remotely like her or coming up the ranks, okay? She goes after people that she feels is too much like her and is a threat. That's my opinion. So anyway, I was like, wow, this really sucks. As someone who has had to fight for my First Amendment right in this medium of podcasting, in a very horrible lawsuit in which I prevailed, I have a lot of sympathy for anybody that all of a sudden gets hit with that. I mean, it's debilitating when you're at a level of just a normal person who is just trying to do your videos, in which she puts a lot of thought into them, and then you get a scary letter from an attorney saying, take those things down or you're going to get in a lot of trouble. It's terrifying. And a lot of people suing and throwing legal threats around is really fun for them. It's a game. It doesn't matter because they have money. They can spend $60,000 here or there on attorneys. Other people, it is horrible. For me, it was absolutely horrible. So I really felt for her. And I was like, this is bullshit, because if bigger celebrities coming on TikTok, which a lot of them are, a new one every day, is going to then threaten creators with a smaller audience and a much smaller bank account to say, you can't say anything about me. Don't even put my name in your mouth. It's like, oh my God, I think we all feel what it's like to have been a cast member on The Real Housewives of New York City with Bethenny Frankel. That's the way these creators were felt. Meredith is not the only one that I've heard that has received these letters. And she does have a team of lawyers. Bethenny does. So anyway, I kind of put it in that weird parody about a girl trying different mustards at different stores. And I thought it was so clever, but there was a part of me that was like, I think a lot of people are going to be confused by this. I think this might be too much to follow. And when I listened back to it, I'm like, I don't know if this landed. Then I saw more and more people were talking about it, and they were just as angry as I was and thinking this is really, really not right. And this is legal bullying and it's not fair. And also, Meredith said nothing wrong. Okay, so I'm like, I'm going to mention it all. So I do my video and we put it on TikTok, and finally Page Six picked it up, but that's after about 24 hours, no, not 20, about 12 or 13 hours after I did the video. Daily Mail wrote about it. And then I was like, so weird that Page Six, who writes about Bethenny Frankel literally every day, is not writing about this. Well, it's because the tides have turned. There are still people that are pro Bethenny, but anybody that follows the entire story with a level of intelligence, even though she likes to call everybody else a dum-dum, saw the hypocrisy of Bethenny's actions. Like I said, she's a smart, funny girl. I find her entertaining, but she is very hypocritical in sending the cease and desist out. That's what it's about. This has nothing to do with my opinion of her suing TikTok. However, I think that's pretty ironic when you're running around saying, I got 1 million followers on TikTok, literally the day after you sue TikTok, saying that TikTok should make sure that no one takes your image. And this, it's all just really petty, and it just doesn't feel right, and it doesn't read authentic. And so then always the thing that she goes to is, how dare you, I help people in crisis with her charity. And so sure enough, she puts out a TikTok, which she comes off real fucking bitchy, like hardcore Real Housewives of New York, like terrifying, Bethenny, where she's talking and she's like, fuck yeah, I have a team of lawyers and I will unleash them. So if you're ready to take a shot at this beat, you better have a good aim. And I mean, really like scary. Like I was shooketh just watching it. Well, somebody got a hold of her and was like, hey, take it down. This isn't good. And she adds on that, yeah, you will get a cease and desist if you talk about my charity where I help people. Well, that is not what this was about. And again, if someone wants to talk about your charity, they freaking can. It's a free country. If they say, I don't think it's great, or where's Be Strong in Florida, people have a right to ask a question. People could talk about things, okay? So, but it's that kind of thing where literally I felt it, which is why I did the weird mustard parody instead of just saying what I'm saying right now. I was literally scared of Bethenny too. Really fucking rich people, and who were rich when they were born and are rich for their whole life. She acts like she was, starving making the Bethenny bakes. At that time she was, but for a long time she's been really fucking rich with her 1%. And I love a good 1%er, I do. But not when they throw their dick around, and that's what she was doing. She was throwing her legal dick around in her power and trying to intimidate people. And so that is what this is about, because I love this. I constantly say we're in a new media where people don't have to depend on some guy at NBC to say, yes, you're talented like I did. I love it. And I also respect the younger people that are fighting really, really hard to have their place in media on these social media platforms. And I love it. And I don't want them ever to shut up. I get so much information from them. I love it. I love sharing it. I love promoting them. I love having them on my show. And that is what really pissed me off, because someone that's always talking about supporting women and helping people in crisis. Why don't you help some women that are trying to come up? Why aren't you helping them? Why are you shitting on all these female-owned beauty products and thinking that that's okay? Yet when someone wants to just question or bring up interesting facts, they're not allowed. So that's the whole story. And Page Six finally wrote about it after I literally tagged them and was like, why are you not talking about it today? You talk about the chick every day. I don't care about getting in Page Six. Like I said, I didn't even want to I didn't even want to talk about this. But I did. So the people that say, Heather, you're an old thirsty bitch. Look, have I ever denied it? Have I ever denied that? No. But my intention was not to get in Page Six. My intention is to tell more powerful people, celebrities, that they cannot send cease and desist to other people. Because if it gets to a place that we're all afraid, all of us are going to lose. And all of us are not going to be able to speak our mind, and we're not going to be able to have our businesses, and we're not going to be able to profit off this platform and entertain. And it's just not right, and it's just not fair, and it's not cool, and I don't like it. So there you go with that. Whew! Sad news or not, Cynthia Bailey is divorcing her third husband, Mike Hill, after 2 years of marriage. I saw a post, and I don't even know if it's real, or if it was fake news or not, but I saw a post, and I believe it was last night, before this was announced, from Countess Luann saying, guess who's moving to New York? You're going to find out at BravoCon. Okay, I hope, this is a prediction that I hope for because I think it would be brilliant. I got to hang out with Cynthia for a really long time when we did that show in Ireland, Name That Tune. She's cool as shit. She's funnier than you've ever seen on Atlanta. Like, she's so dry. I think she would do absolutely terrific with the OGs in New York. I would love to see her with Ramona and Luann and Sonia, and bring back Jill, and fucking bring the liquor and bring back Dorinda. I don't know. It could be really freaking good. They all know each other. They all have history. They all have ties. That's the show I think every Bravo fan would watch. And I think Cynthia, she knows these girls, and I think she'd fit in beautifully like Garcelle. She's, she just has a way about her where I feel she can get along with everybody, but she also can hold her own. And so that's what I'm hoping. But too bad the marriage didn't work out. But I think there's bright things ahead for Cynthia, and I really, really like her. Now, you guys, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to pack. We are going to BravoCon. I will be at BravoCon. I am going to some panels and things. And then I'm going to give you my really raw opinion, like even more raw than you get on this show, at my live Juicy Scoop with Carlos King. I just spoke to him. He's got so much juice that he's bringing, and it's going to be so much fun. And I have the most exciting high-end giveaways. You guys are going to die. I cannot say it, but a lot of people will benefit from these giveaways. It is at my live show. Is it sold out? I don't know. There could be like 10 tickets left. It's what? 99%. It's 99% sold out. You could maybe still get in. If not, you can watch it. And I really suggest you watch it. This is a professional company that'll be filming it. It's you go to heathermcdonald.net and you can watch it while we're doing it. So it'll go about 7:45 in New York, which would be 4:45 Saturday. But then if you can't make it at the time, whatever, you can watch it for the next 7 days. But then it's gone forever. And the juice that is going to be spilled, because it's going to be so edged, like what has happened in the last 48 hours, we're going to be talking about, along with any other juicy scoop pop culture news in the world that happens that day. I am really excited. I have a lot of outfits, probably all of which I will not like the way I look in them afterwards. But I hope that I look amazing because I have been trying on outfits for a long time. So anyway, we're excited. Everything at heathermcdonald.net. Of course, great Patreon this weekend will be happening. So make sure you are on Patreon. You do not want to miss out on that. And now for our interview with Josh Wolf. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I've got a fun treat for you, hilarious comedian and returned Juicy Scooper, fellow co-star with me on Chelsea Lately, Josh Wolf. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To Juicy Scoop.
I want to tell you something. This is the first time you've ever said my last name and not said Wolf.
How did I say it?
You said Wolf.
Instead of woof.
Yeah.
Well, you know I have a problem. Now that I've diagnosed myself.
Have you?
Yes, with a phonics problem. I did it so that people would stop criticizing me. Because once you tell someone that you have something
you're not allowed
wrong,
to mention it anymore.
No one can criticize it. And I definitely do think I might have something.
But this is
I have a very hard time pronouncing certain stuff. And like I remember Chelsea used to say, stop saying, because I'd say bathing suit, like almost with a D. And she's
Bathing
like, it's
suit.
bathing suit.
And you would say
bathing suit.
Bathing suit. I will tell you
certain things like that.
It's
and as a little kid, I remember my mom took me to this is going to make people really feel bad. I think I went to like a speech therapist on top of it.
You did?
And I didn't speak for a really long time because I was the youngest of 5, so I would just point and people would get me stuff. And then I remember being like trying to say spoon and it coming out like poon and being young enough to be like, okay, what the fuck's wrong with you, girl?
Yeah,
like I remember being like,
way,
why can't you say spoon? And then she took me to the therapist. And look at me now, I talk for a living, but I make a lot of pronunciation mistakes.
Well, a little girl who says poon instead of spoon is fun at parties. You know? But you know what's crazy is I hadn't thought of that. Like, if there's anything wrong that you consider to be wrong with you,
yeah,
if you say it out loud in today's day and age, nobody's allowed to criticize you after that.
Yeah. Huh. Well, a lot of people do it to like, you know, get their fans back. Like, I know I was awful for 3 years, but let me tell you, something horrible happened to me when I was a child. I wrote a book about it. Read it. Feel bad. Now like me again.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a good get out of jail.
So I was like, you know, I've been pretty fortunate in my life.
Yeah.
But I do remember my mom took me to a speech person when I was about 3. Oh, also, my mom put those little shoes that had a bar.
She bound your feet?
No, it was little baby shoes with a bar across it. And I used to sleep in that because I think,
Wait, Heather, what are you even referring to?
Okay.
What?
I think,
shoes with a bar that attach the shoes?
I think this might have been a scam in the 70s where doctors would say, you know how like so many babies are bow-legged when they're walking and you see them and you're like, that's a bow-legged baby?
Yeah.
Well, I guess back in the day, doctors would be like, you got to fix that. Like, if your daughter's ever going to make it in this world, she can't have this fucking... I don't know what happened. My mom's not here to tell. So I remember being, like, older and going through some stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was 2 little baby shoes with a silver metal bar across it. And she goes, oh, those are the shoes you used to wear at night in the crib to like straighten out your legs. I do have to say, I do have good legs.
You do have great legs.
And I still have the 3 triangles. When you put your legs together, you have 3 triangles. Like,
you think that's
it's
from
like
the Forrest Gump bar that your mom...
Yes.
Run, Heather, run!
It's a thing. Yes. So... But I look back now and I go, well, why isn't anybody doing that with their kid today? I think it was a scam. I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
And I think that we got tricked into that.
I've never even heard of that.
So this is the saddest part. She goes, oh, and then when you'd wake up, you would throw your legs against the crib to like wake up the whole house. And I'm like, yeah, because I was like,
bound.
Yeah. Like how fun. Like I can't stand up like a cute kid. Like the cutest thing is when I would walk into my kid's room and they'd be standing at the crib like it's a Christmas morning every day. Well, I wasn't that because I was laid down with a bar.
Now, is the bar better or worse than the leash that I see some people put on their kids?
I don't see that much that anymore. I know it really is disturbing to everybody else except for the kid and the parent. Because they really only do it when they're really little. And I feel like they only do it at like a Disneyland. But I never lost a child at Disneyland, but I found one.
Oh, really?
And that was one of the best days of my life.
What did you do with, like, when you find a child?
I comforted him. He was crying. And then I had my daughter, Mackenzie, like go get a security guard and I talked to him and everything, and I got him to calm down. And then I realized how easy it would be for me to kidnap him right there.
Because they're dumb.
Because they're dumb.
Yeah.
They're like, he was like 3.5. And I'm like, did you fly here or did you drive here? We drove here. So I was like, okay, who else are you with? Are you with lots of family? No, just my mom. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, there's only one. So I'm thinking, so I'm like, at this point, I could be like, oh, I know your mommy.
Yeah.
Oh, your mommy just called. Come with me. We're going to go to where she is. Because he was already holding my hand. And then I could have walked him out of the Disneyland, put him in my car, said, I'm taking your mommy, and then that was it.
Can I tell you, Jacob Wolf, when he was...
That's your son.
Yes, I'm sorry. When he was like 9 or 10, he was in the driveway shooting basketballs. And I hear him talking to somebody. So I walk out, and as I'm walking out, I see a dude in the driveway with a backpack, kind of disheveled looking guy. And he sees me, and he grabs his backpack, and he goes, all right, Jacob. And Jacob goes, okay, Greg. And he walks back up the driveway. Now, with the casualness of that exchange, I assumed, oh, this is a dude who lives on the street.
Jacob walked back up to the house.
Walked up to the house, and the guy walked down, right?
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, this is a guy.
Yeah.
And so he passes me the ball, and I go, where's Greg live? He was like, I don't know. I go, he doesn't live on the street? He goes, no. I go, do you know him? He goes, well, I just met him. I said, what? He goes, yeah, he was walking by, and he asked if I could shoot. He asked if he could shoot with me, and I said, sure. And I go, Jacob, what were you guys talking about? He goes, well, I told him that you were a comedian and you traveled a lot.
Let me guess. He also is a comedian. No, just kidding.
Wait, no, he's not. He goes, I told him you were a comedian and you traveled a lot. And then I used to have a dog that was a half pit, half boxer. And the reason I loved him is because he looked
scary.
But he was scared of squirrels and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and he was so scared that he would stand still and pretend like you couldn't see him. But people actually thought he was staring you down.
Okay.
So the guy said to him, Jacob, your dog's staring me down. And Jacob goes, he's actually really scared of you. You could walk right up to the fence and he'd run away.
Oh, great.
This fucking
so my
dummy.
My dad's never around.
It's just me and my mom on the weekends, and the dog doesn't do anything. And then he lets the guy walk away. And I was like, have I not? I go, what did I tell you about strangers? He goes, he's not a stranger, he's Greg. And I was like, holy fuck.
Did he ever come around again?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. But like, that it just reminded me that no matter how much you teach your kids, they're dumb. I don't say that in a bad way. You know what I mean? But they're not. They're dumb. They're kids.
Well, I was walking home from school, which is in the same area as this. And
did you used to be able to walk around by yourself out here and
always ride my bike and everything? I was walking home. I've told the story before, but who cares? If you remember, then you were gold star, Juicy Scooper. And I was walking home, and I got mad at my sister. She annoyed me, so I walked ahead of her, and this car drove up, and it was a guy, and he was like, rolled down the window, and he goes, "Do you know where like Dumet Street is or something?" And I was so proud because being that I'm a child of realtors, I knew where every fucking street was. I delivered pumpkins there during Halloween. I solicited my parents all the time.
Right.
Family business. So I'm like, oh, of course. All you do is go down Wells and make a left and blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, what about this? And then he just shows me his naked dick. And I go,
how old are you?
I was definitely in the 4th grade. I was 9. And so I covered my eyes.
You were like, that's not on Dumet Street.
And I go, oh my God. So I don't know if I told Shannon, I may have, but little kids also never want to tell anything, right?
Yeah.
So then I get home and I'm acting really weird and everything. And my mom was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And so then finally, like hours later, I tell her. And they're like, oh my God, like police are over that minute. And my brothers are getting out car magazines and being like, what kind of car was it? Like, they're detectives. They're like, what kind? Show me the car. I'm like, I don't know. And then they're like, what was he wearing? I'm like, I don't know. And I remember I said, overalls. And then later on, I thought, well, how would you whip your dick out of overalls?
Yeah.
And that's where I think, like, kids aren't a good witness, which is unfortunate. Because it's like, that's where it's like the stories in your mind. And then like.
Haven't you read, there's been studies where they send groups of people up a hill at night. And then somebody jumps out and scares them. Uh-huh. And some people recall, they'll come down and interview and say what happened.
Right.
And some people were like, he had a knife in his hand. He didn't have a knife in his hand. And some people were like, well, he had a gun. He took out a gun. I saw the gun. It was pointing at us. He didn't. Mm-hmm. But your during traumatic times, your brain doesn't always remember exactly what happened. It's a crazy
Or there's
thing
this
to
like
read.
whole like people were think it's like an alternative universe or something where people say, "Do you remember seeing Ed McMahon hold the $1 million prize?"
Right.
And then they've proven that he was the host of the commercials, but he never held the big check.
But in your brain,
In your brain and
you
your
see-
memory,
yeah.
and there's like certain things with like cartoon characters and cereal and stuff where they're like, do you see him with, or the Monopoly Man? Did the Monopoly Man have something in his hand
that
or what?
monocle or
Yeah,
something.
but he really didn't, or something like that. It's like very, very weird. But anyway, later on, the police officers told me if this ever happens again, the best thing you can do is memorize or write down the license plate, or even if you remember the beginning or the end of it. That's the most important thing. We'll always be able to find a bad guy if we have the license plate.
Heather.
So wait, the story gets better. About a month later, I'm playing volleyball at my school at St. Mel's. Now there's grass that covers this chain link fence. But at the time, it was a clear chain link fence and a car could drive. You could see that your mom was there or whatever. And these girls are like, imagine 9-year-olds in parochial school outfits playing volleyball. So this was a pedophile's fucking dream. Okay. So
just standing at the fence.
So he was in his car. But the concrete was above. So you could look down into his car. And he was there stroking it out.
Oh no.
And so these girls are like, "Oh my God, look!" Like they're freaking out. And I immediately was like, "Give me a paper and pencil, Liz." And I wrote down, like I drew it. I wrote down the thing, and then we all get called into the office. And the principal is like, "Okay, what happened?" And I go, "Sister Patricia, here is."
You had it?
Here's the license plate. This is what he looked like. It was I remember the car.
Same guy?
No, it was not the same guy. Or it was a different car. Maybe it was the same guy, but it was a different car. So then all the girls, they call all the girls' parents, and all the girls' parents come to pick them up. And they call my mom at the real estate office and tell her what happened and said, "Oh, but your daughter, got the license plate. Would you like to pick her up?" And she goes, "No, I have to work. She's been through this before. She's fine. She's fine. She can walk home by herself afterwards."
Those are 80s,
Anyway,
those are 80s parents right there, man.
But they did get the guy. We never had to testify or anything like that.
That's
amazing. And now the school is much more secure, and there's grass everywhere, and like there's no way anyone can see, and there's security guards. But yeah, okay. Well, speaking of which, let's get into some juicy scoop.
Okay.
Here is a sports one for you, and being that you're from Boston, Tom Brady, who was originally from Boston, right? Or
He's
that's
from
what he played
California.
for. But he played for
the Patriots,
for a long time. And married to Gisele. Now, we've been talking about the fact that they were fighting. There was all these rumors. Then she got a divorce attorney. Now it 100% looks like they both secured divorce attorneys. And I thought this was kind of really stretching New York Post. They said she changed her tattoo. They caught the bottom of her foot and her ankle. At one time, it was a crescent moon with 3 stars. Now it's like this whole big design. And I'm reading it, and I'm thinking, oh, wait, did she have a crescent moon and 3 stars because she and Tom share 3 kids, or are they or do they only have 2 kids? So he's the crescent and she's the 3 star. And then I keep reading, and they're like, though she got the crescent and 3 stars before she ever met Tom. I'm like, all right.
Come on.
This has nothing to do. A crescent and 3 stars is very dated tattoo look. And
That's
if you have
why
a
she changed it.
if you have a crescent and 3 stars, look up Gisele's. I think this is much more attractive.
Yeah.
Update it, and make it a little more happening.
Yeah, it's like just changing your tribal tattoo. It's just because it's been there for 25 years.
Yeah, but what do you think?
Okay. So I think we forget that she still probably has more money than him and is probably more success going into the marriage, for sure, more successful. So I think she gave up more than he did. Don't you think? And so I think she came to a point where she was like, yo, you have nothing else to prove. You've won 7 Super Bowls. You've made all the money. Everybody thinks you're the greatest. We want you back at home. Why are you going back to do this one more year? I think it makes sense.
Well, listen,
I hate to say it.
I grew up with, a dad that had a lot of highs and lows. He was a yelling 70s dad that would yell, and the next day he'd be happy. And he probably had some issues anyway, and he was a vet and whatever. But there was definitely like times where like if things were going well in business, he was happy. If they weren't, he was mad. So I remember thinking, being really young and being like, oh my God, it must be hell to be the wife of a professional football player if they lose, or God forbid they lose because of like they were the final play that dropped or whatever. The pressure of the fans and the mood, and then have to deal with that asshole. I remember thinking that very young. So I'm guessing she's had to deal with that, along with all the money and the fame and the fans loving you and the fans hating you and the fans blaming the wife. I mean, like now if he doesn't play well for the Tampa, whatever they
Buccaneers.
are, then like they're just going to fucking turn on her.
But
they're going to say like, oh, you stressed him out by filing for divorce. And I think she's finally like, I'm doing what's right for me.
I think so
I don't fucking care about the fans, the football, whatever. I mean, there's been a lot of divorced couples that have filed and then have reconciled lately. The latest one I read was Michelle Branch.
Really?
She filed from her husband, and they just caught them kissing, and they both removed took away the filing.
You
so
know
I'm like, I'm hoping.
I think the deal here is that, like, you know, I'm torn on this because everybody gets to live their own life.
Right.
And so say he comes back, he retires, but he doesn't want to retire. And then he's an asshole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think...
True. I mean, it's just really hard. And I think what you're saying is right. Like, maybe she always felt that their family, their life is about Tom Brady.
Oh, he's so dedicated, Heather. So if you think about the way he eats, the way he trains, he goes to sleep at the same time every night, super rigid as when he's training. That can't be the easiest person to live with all the time.
Also, can you look up how old Gisele is? Because as a woman... well, I think she's definitely over 40, but I'm just saying, like, as a woman, you're changing all the time, and your attitudes, and
42.
She's 42, and I think she's just getting to the... Well, first of all, I would tell anyone that's thinking of getting divorced of a long-term marriage, just like there is a better window to nab your first husband of age. I'm sorry people don't want to hear it, but it's true, okay? And the sweet spot is between 27 and 32.
I don't think Gisele would have a problem.
But if you're going to go get divorced, okay, and you've got a couple kids, and you want to go round two, fall in love, have some fun, and have still a good amount of dudes to choose from for second wife, second husband fun, which is a lot of people. My friend lives in Charlotte, and I think that's the best place for rich second marriages.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But can I tell you something?
But
for
anyway,
sure?
I think the window is like, if you're going to do it and you really think, I don't want to end my days with this fucker.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Juicy Scoopers. You really feel like, no, I don't look forward to babysitting my grandkids with him. I'm done. You've got to get out in your early 40s. You've got to get out. I don't care how hot you are. Get out in your early 40s. Now someone's going to say, of course, get out whenever you can get out.
Yeah.
But if you're strategically planning your life and you're really not happy at 39, you really, really are not happy, either make it happier, save it, or get out in the next 3 years. And that's my advice.
Here's my thing with her. One, she's really going to have to just figure out if people like her for her. Because I know dudes who would try to date her just on the off chance that they might meet Tom Brady.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so at family reunions, he's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You guys have a good co-parenting relationship.
So, like, when when the kids are playing sports, he'll be there, and we can, like, chat it up. Like, there are going to be dudes who are dating her. But also, she's Gisele. So I don't think she falls into that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, she doesn't fall into that, but I'm just saying in general, like, even, really wealthy women that get married for the second time, the whole thing. I mean, it's hard. It's always hard when you have kids. But if you really feel like you're done,
they are so good.
Then don't waste any more time. Except I'm still hopeful that they might be the couple that, like, Sylvester Stallone and his wife just pulled the divorce.
Did?
Yeah, they're back together. And, like, I do think this is, like, kind of this new move that one or both the spouse kind of does it to be like, no, I am really serious. I've told you this for years. You haven't believed me, But if they don't get back together, I do not think this will be a pleasant separation. I think this is going to be
really
rich. And
you think public? Because he hates public. Like, he doesn't like to have anything out in public. Do you think he'd go like?
I don't know. I think it could be one of those things. Like, as rich as you are, it's just like when you love that hard, and I think they really were in love.
Yeah, I agree.
Then when you divorce someone that you really love. Now, if you're indifferent, and both people are indifferent, and they're like, everybody wants their divorce to be like, hey, Josh, like, you're my husband. Like, here's a cup of coffee. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Our kids are grown.
Yeah. A couple high fives.
Yeah. We have two.
Yeah.
You like to live in the desert. I like to live in the OC. Let's do just a clean split. You keep that house. I keep the OC. Take your clothes. Keep the boat. I don't really care.
Yeah. Do you
keep
think
your golf
people
club.
this rich argue over stuff because they both have so much money?
Yeah, but then it could be like a war. Remember the War of the Roses? Like it can. You want to hope that we can do this.
Yeah.
But if one person, unless you're both completely on the same page, which happens so rarely, the person that doesn't want it can then turn really angry, possessive, ugly, and be like, "Oh, you think you're going to get the upper hand on this? Oh, fucking no, you're not. And I've got all the money as well to make this a miserable experience for you. And once you get a guy, it's going to be hard for you to keep that relationship because I'm going to drama fill your life so much. And every time you think you're going to have a nice weekend with your boyfriend and the kids, I'm going to send a court ordered thing to you on your doorstep as you're walking out on the trip to Hawaii. Like, I'm going to make your life so fucking miserable that the guy is like, I'm done.
Who's the most who do you think is the better catch and the more desirable? If they're both single, who do you think is the better catch? I have to tell you, yeah. I mean, Gisele seems like she wants to just raise her kids and be at home right now.
Yeah.
And so that seems like she's independently wealthy. Now, Tom Brady's Tom Brady.
Right. Well, she's set too because they've been together so long and she has kids who are minors. So she's set. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, in my man crush, it's hard for me to look past my man crush of Tom Brady. But I think if I looked at it completely objectively, I think Gisele's probably the better catch.
Listen, guys like this too, what also happens, sadly, Gisele, is in a few years when he's with a really great, beautiful girl that isn't that also has like something to offer besides her looks, you're going to realize these guys see you sometimes as replaceable. Something a lot of people don't talk about, but a lot of women realize after they get divorced that all of a sudden they've been replaced and the guys cannot be alone. And there are so many girls that are willing to be the second wife and cater to that husband the way you didn't because the two of you were young and came up together.
Yeah.
So you're not catering to him as a wife of 20 years the way a wife of 1 year would cater to you. And because the dynamic is never going to be the same. So you're always, you know your place, And then also if a guy is smart like that and marries someone after Gisele, it's going to be like, hey, I hope you're with me till the end. But if you choose not to, you're not going to leave with that much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the incentive to stay. That's what
he's from what I heard, he's the one who doesn't want this and that he really wants this to work.
I also did talk to a nanny that worked for them once and could not have said nicer things about them as a couple and about
all I've
him.
heard too.
And that he would pick her up alone, like at no funny business, pick her up alone at the place. They didn't even really need her that much. So they were like, no, just stay the week, whatever. We just need you for this one night. We're going to dinner, pay her part. So great. And so I like wondering what will happen, but I really hope they can work it out. But if they can't, I hope that it's pleasant. But
I think it will.
I don't know. I think
from
when
what
couples really love each other, it's not that pleasant.
He doesn't want it, and he's such a private person. I can't imagine he would let anything get out. But who knows?
It just goes to show you that every marriage is different. Every marriage has problems, and some people can't get past the tough years. Like I would be like, if I was her, I'd be like, come on, like stick it out for 2 more. In 2 years, he'll just be icing his leg, and you can hang out. Just get you've gone this far.
I think,
but if she really may look at him and not be in love with him anymore. Like people do fall out of love, and they're just like, you gross me out. I hate looking at your face. Like I don't care that you're Tom Brady. I don't. You've hurt me so much because we don't know what goes on behind doors. You've said so many mean things. Not saying that he did, but we don't know that. I can't turn it back on. Goodbye.
Yeah, I look, when you've been married a long time, I'll tell you right now, COVID saved my marriage.
Really?
Oh, Heather.
Nice. I liked it too.
I
liked the
marriage.
downtime and the hanging out and doing stuff with the kids. We were lucky because we were not essential workers, so we could still work because we had our own business, but I wasn't required to go to the grocery store and work or watch the little kids in my house.
Right.
We kind of had the right age kids to like, just when you thought they didn't want to hang out with you, they had no choice.
They had no, yeah.
Yeah. So
it was bonus time.
Yeah. It was so like for us, it wasn't terrible, And I think for a lot of people, it either made you realize like, God, if there's an apocalypse and I'm only left with one other person, I don't want it to be you. Or I actually do want it to be you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone. That would be really boring if I was alone. My single friends are really sad. Like there were those kind of benefits of like, looking back at
Beth and I
first season.
I have been traveling so much. Beth and I needed that time together.
I loved the break. I loved the break.
Me too.
And I think the best part, I've said this before, and actually Jennifer Aniston said it too, is when you're in this business, you want the break, but then you have this anxiety that other people at your level are working and you're not. And even if it's your choice. And so, like, if I wasn't on the road and I'd go and see that you were like, thank you, Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, fuck, like, I'm happy for him, but, like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. It was just nice to have a break where nobody could perform and no one could work.
Yeah.
And there was that element of, like, that competition jealousy that you don't want to admit to, but it just is part of our business. That was gone from our psyche. And that was nice.
Can I tell you, it's the biggest change in me from leaving Los Angeles. Exactly what you described. That I felt every day living here, I don't feel anymore.
And you live in Vegas now.
I live in Vegas. Heather, I am in the most positive way, a new human as opposed to 3 years ago. I'm professionally and personally never felt better in my entire life.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Leaving here did...
I know you're so miserable.
No. Yo, when I look back at who I was, even 3 years ago, I feel bad for that dude.
Okay.
I really do feel bad for that dude. He was a sad guy.
I didn't like 2019.
Yeah.
I didn't like that year. It wasn't a great year for me either.
What was happening in 2019?
I don't know, but it was right before COVID. And I remember it was like a stressful year for me. It was like other things going on and I wasn't as happy either.
But you have done something. You're one of the people that I think about a lot in an inspirational way. You pushed all your chips in on yourself. You 100% were like, I know who I am. I know what I do well. I know there's an audience for this. I'm going all in. And
well,
so
thank you.
But like you that's a pioneer move. Like most people are too scared to bet on themselves. And you really did.
But also I had no choice. Everything had dried up, so I actually had no choice. So that's sometimes that's why I tell people when you get fired or something, like, hopefully it may take a year, it may take 3, but you're going to wake up one day and any regret you had about that firing or about that breakup, you're going to look back and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be here today. And it always seems to, providing it's not, a loss of a life, it always seems to work out. Yeah. Like, you're kind of like, okay.
But Heather, let me just, one more compliment for you.
Oh, sure.
I disagree in that if it dried up, you had no other choice because a lot of people just quit. They take their ball and go home. And so I disagree. The easiest thing is to quit when that happens and to blame everybody else, which is what most people do. They go, oh, this isn't happening. Right. They won't let me. And it's all, you're pushing it, making it other people's fault that you can't do what you want to do. And you didn't do that.
No, and I actually had the meeting at William Morris where I'm like, why am I not going out for anything anymore? And they were just like, you're just not what anybody's looking for. Like, you're either too experienced or you're too old or you're too not diverse. I'm like, well, those are all things. I can't change my age. I can't change my sex. I can't change my
you can change
my
your sex if you want
sexuality.
to.
Well, I don't want to.
Okay.
And I can't change my color of my skin or what I was raised as. And so I was like, and they're like, but if you build something, like, then we can talk in a couple of years. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll just push on this Juicy Scoop thing. And it did work out because I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, okay, it's okay. If I'm not the flavor, if I'm not what Hollywood's looking for right now, I'm not going to like boo-hoo it. Make something. You got to make something else. And thank God we're in like a time in media where you can.
But
thank
it
God.
shows how out of touch those people are, Heather, because you have one of the biggest podcasts in the world, right? In the world. Those people are so out of touch. They're telling you nobody wants what you're offering. Clearly, there are millions of people who do.
Right. But I mean, just not for like TV and stuff, which it all worked out. Okay, let's move on.
All right.
Do you know about the Try Guys?
No.
Okay, so I kept seeing this Try Guy thing, and I didn't understand what it was. So there's these 4 guys, and I guess they worked together at one time, but like 7 or 8 years ago, they started doing this really successful YouTube show. They have like 8 million subscribers, and I watched one of them, and it's a great idea. Where like the 4 of them, the one I saw was like the 4 Try Guys, kind of like those. Who are those other guys that do the pranks? The
Impractical Jokers.
Yes, kind of like that.
Okay.
But they probably got the idea from that, but they try different things. So the one I saw is the 4 guys are all going to try to do fake nails. And they have like fake hands, but they actually, who's going to do the best nail art?
Okay.
They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to glue the nails. They get told what to do. So it's like very entertaining, and then they have people judge it and everything. So it became huge. And then of course they also added a podcast element to it. So I'm seeing all this stuff. And I guess one of the guys, Ned, who was married, so people know their personal lives as well because of the thing, and also because of the podcast, the TV, the YouTube. And they were getting like DMs, a couple of the other guys, because they shared it on the podcast and I listened to it, saying, we saw Ned with another woman who's not his wife. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? So they are trying to keep it quiet. And not only is this guy married, but they all agree it was a consensual situation, worked for them, worked within their office company. So as I'm listening to it, the 2 guys are like, and I've never heard of these people, I never listened to it. The 2 guys are like, I mean, we just wanted to tell you guys what we've been going through, and we had to figure out what we were going to do, and the last month was hell, and I felt like it was like a breakup and this and that, and Ned is no longer with us and everything. And Peter and I were both listening to it in the car, and I'm like, okay, am I being weird, or are guys really this moral that they get rid of their partner because they cheated on their wife? Or is it, this is what I thought it was more of when I thought more about it. I think it's because the girl was someone that worked for them, and now he's put the whole company in jeopardy. And even if it's consensual, she could come back, because now he's saying, I only care about my my wife and my family. And, you know, he did a statement of, I'm so sorry. So if he dumps this girl, which sounds like it is, to try to make his marriage work, and this girl can now come back and be like, he was a superior. He was the star of the show.
Yep.
And doesn't matter that I have text and everything was consensual. I was manipulating to be in this relationship, which is why I have a friend who worked in HR, and she said, you know, the minute you're to be dating someone, you're both supposed to come in, tell that you're both dating, like sign papers, because even if you were both, even if you were both like working there, even if you both have the same job, but one was hired the day before you, that could be seen as like superior, or, you know.
Yeah.
So at any time, if they break up, the underling, if they could be considered an underling, could have a case.
100%.
So that is why I think they're like, dude, if you weren't happy with your wife, but they don't really say all this. They acted more like,
yeah.
But I mean, I think the truth is probably when they got on the phone with each other was like, listen, fucker, if you're not happy with your wife, you want to fuck around, like, go get a girl.
That's right.
In another city.
That's right.
Or something. But like the girl that works for us, like, you're putting us all in jeopardy. And then also, it's a pretty like fun, clean show that they do.
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't
100%.
Christian based, but it was like.
Which one's Ned?
Like,
do you know?
I want to say it was this one, and this one is Ned.
Which one?
With the one on the end with the striped shirt.
Harry Potter?
Wait, will you just look up which one's Ned so I don't say the wrong one is Ned?
Harry Potter's Ned?
I guess.
I mean, if I had to look at those
I would have
four
thought
dudes,
this one was. I thought this one was Ned because I think one is gay. I'm not sure, but I thought this one was Ned in the jean jacket. But I think it's the other one.
I have to tell you, if I had to pick a dude who was cheating out of those four, ooh, they all look pretty beta. Like, you know what I mean? They all look like pretty passive dudes.
Right.
Ooh. And so you're saying Harry Potter's
But those are
Ned?
the ones that cheat sometimes because nobody ever wanted them before. His wife might have been a girl that he dated from 16 or 18 on, and now this girl's giving him attention.
That
it
is
was him.
Oh my!
I am blown away.
That's the last one I would have guessed.
My God, if this was this should have been the Try Guy games. Try to figure out which
one's Ned.
Which one cheated on his wife.
Yo, I would have guessed him last. That's his.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. What is he thinking about?
So he's a carrot top. He doesn't look tall. And has a gorgeous blonde white. Well, now I understand why people are mad.
Look, Seth Green's cousin.
You got this beautiful girl, and then you're so ego driven that you also have to cheat with a girl that works for them.
It's because that guy. Here's what the things with guys. So it makes sense to me with that guy because that guy growing up got zero.
That's what
vagina.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And then they get successful.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, the most dangerous type of guy too to break your heart is the 50-year-old who's divorced after 23 years and just gets on a Tinder or whatever, isn't great looking, but has some money.
Yeah.
And every girl like between 52 and 38 is like, all right, I'll date him. And they don't realize that there's about 100 other girls that are like, I'll date him. And then this guy is like, I slept with 2 girls before my wife, and now I've got hundreds coming because I own a home.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
His profile picture is just a house. And people are like,
it literally should just be a house.
A house?
Yeah.
You're right. That dude, that's the dude who's going to fuck everybody he possibly can before he can't anymore. There's no doubt. I have to tell you.
But he had to leave, and I don't know what their situation was in creating this, but I assume it's a lot of lawyers either buying him out or making him leave or whatever. But someone like this, I don't know how popular he is.
Well,
I predict what will happen.
Okay.
So he goes away. This is what I would suggest he do. I don't even know if he's extremely funny or if he just got thrown with these guys and got to have fun for 8 years.
Right.
If I would say go away for a while, hopefully make your marriage work. I don't know if you have kids, try to have one.
Right.
Then come back and do some kind of confessional, like on a podcast as your first one.
On their podcast?
No, start your own.
Okay.
Start with a confessional. Next episode is maybe the wife's on it. And then like have enough good ones after with like good guests that you keep those people that originally hooked in to.
Do you bring the girl on?
The one you cheated with?
Do you? Because.
Well, that would be extra juicy if you
wouldn't it? Wife, him, and the girl.
If the numbers go down, bring the girl on.
Bring the girl on.
But that's what I would do, and or get your real estate license. He's tiny. He can join the Tiny Twins on the Oppenheim group selling Sunset.
You know, Heather, I will tell you, if he had the girl on that he cheated with. We both know a guy named Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz kidnapped somebody. He had the dude he kidnapped on his podcast. One of the most fascinating conversations I've ever had.
Why did he kidnap someone?
Joe was a...
He was like a little gangster.
He was a little bit of a criminal.
Yeah.
He did some jail time for that.
He's criminal light.
Yeah, he was criminal. I considered him to be a moral criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he had his moral line. But yeah, it was a fascinating conversation. But to have for this dude,
but he kidnapped him in like a mobster situation,
and like threw him in the trunk of a car,
like in a mobster thing.
Well, it was just him and the guy. The guy was a drug dealer.
Oh, okay.
And Joey was like, the cops won't mind if I steal money from a drug dealer.
Okay, but then how many years later did he have him as a guest on the show?
Got to be 20 years.
And how did he find him?
He talked about it so much, and
then he eventually found him.
Yeah, and they did the show. The episode is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But if this dude, imagine him, the wife, because I think the wife would have to be there. Him and the wife?
Family is so important.
So he and the wife are getting along. So that's what's going to save him.
But he'll never be able to go back on this show. And
Listen, I'm going to give him an invitation to come on Juicy Scoop.
I love that.
Come to the white table. Don't go to the red table talk.
Yeah, they're not going to like you.
But if they did, you just get ready to talk the whole time. Because if you ever see that show, the three of them, Jada, Grandma, Pick and Smith, or whatever her name is, and Willow, all they do is just go, oof. Oh, child.
Well, I have to tell you.
I would suggest that, though. I would also suggest, just for the press, if you want to keep this press train going before you launch your own podcast, Carrot Top, Ned, you can come here. But I'm going to be honest with you because I'm a Christian. You might get more press from the Red Table Talk.
I don't know. This is a pretty big show.
I don't know, everybody.
Okay.
I would love to hear it. I don't want this guy never to be in entertainment again.
Me neither.
You know, so like I feel whatever. People make mistakes, but this is.
I agree.
But hey, it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate price to pay. So
you know what else? If the wife isn't judging him, then who am I? Do you know what I mean? Like, if the wife's okay with it, then who am I to say shit about their relationship?
Yeah.
I'm always gets me when people are like, I can't believe you don't know what their relationship's like. And if that's what she wants to do, she wants to take that dude
I
back.
always think that's the biggest hurt for a couple in the public eye because it's like, hey, listen, a lot of people have, arrangements with like, you want to do it.
You think Adam Levine did?
Yes, totally. And I don't think we still don't have any real evidence that Adam Levine ever met anybody in person. There isn't one picture of them laying in bed together or, so yeah, I think that was his thing. It was gross. He probably did it to so many girls, as we know he did.
Yep.
And what it is I don't even care that you do that, stupid Adam Levine. But now it's embarrassing for me because I don't want to divorce your stupid ass.
That's what it is.
So now I look like now the feminists are after me when it's like, fuck off. Like, exactly. So that's the problem is like you humiliated me because you got found out.
And it didn't bother me. I knew about it. And now that it's public, it's almost like I have to make it bother me.
Right.
Because if it doesn't bother me, people think something's wrong with me.
Right. You're such a doormat or whatever. Okay. Everyone's watching Dahmer.
Yeah.
And this article came out from New York Post. Creepy 4-star signs shared by the world's worst criminals. And so...
By the way, is Ted Bundy that good looking? When people keep talking about how this handsome, is he that good looking?
No, but he was like clean cut for the time because the time was like more hippie-ish.
Okay.
And he was like clean cut, and that's why people didn't ever
People keep
suspect.
talking about he was this handsome. I keep looking at these pictures like, I mean, is he that? I'm not.
No.
If he walked into a bar, would you be like, oh, I gotta?
Wait, what were the signs again? They were Pisces,
Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius.
Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius are the world's worst criminals. Are one of those signs?
Are you any of those signs?
Serial killers are serial killers. Well, the good news is that Peter is an Aries.
Good.
And Drake is a Scorpio.
Perfect.
And what was Brandon? Libra.
Me too. I'm a Libra.
Libra. They are not the serial killer signs, which I'm more concerned about giving birth to a serial killer than getting killed by a serial killer.
Yeah. I don't want to feel responsible for that.
I was telling Annie, I think that's one of the biggest things that like boy moms don't talk about. Because like as a girl mom, your biggest fear is that your daughter's like first of all, as a parent, your biggest fear is your child's going to be kidnapped, right? Then at a certain point, your son gets to a size where he ages out of being kidnapped, okay? But then there's always that weird fear that like, could my kid be the one that goes into the school with the guns? Could my kid be the one that, rapes a girl or becomes a serial killer? So you always worry about that. Mm-hmm. You don't worry that your daughter's going to be a destructive, but then for the rest of your life, you're worried that your daughter could be kidnapped or killed, okay? But as a parent, that's it. But the good news is none of my kids are the signs of serial killers. However, I am. I'm a Gemini.
Has Peter locked the knife drawers? Has he done any extra? Does he have you taste food first?
I
anything?
definitely am the farthest thing from a serial killer. Like I'm grossed out by any kind of hurt. I've never actually even like gotten in a physical fight. I think I pushed my sister once when I was 8. Like I've never to actually touch someone or kill them or anything. No.
I'm with you. I think I've been angry enough, but I'm not good with blood.
Yes.
So
Horrible.
I would be really, I don't know how I would do it. I like gross things. So I don't want to see somebody be poisoned out either. Like any of that stuff.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I'm out.
But this is a very juicy show.
I cannot wait to watch
This is called A Friend of the Family. It's a Peacock. I think you can watch 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's a series that they made, a scripted version of the very popular Netflix doc called In Plain Sight, where a girl in the 70s, she grew up in a Mormon family, became friends with another Mormon family down the road in like Idaho or something. And the dad of that family, who was married with kids, was such a manipulator. He manipulated the entire family to the point where when he took the 12-year-old daughter away, they waited about 3 or 4 days to even tell the police because they were like, well, he wouldn't hurt her. And so this is a scripted version of it, and it's so good. And I really like it. And I didn't watch the whole doc, so I think I enjoy it more. Like sometimes when you know too much, you're like, ugh. But if you don't know that much about it, or if you do remember, I think it's really well done. And Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, just totally is so believable as this character because we saw the real character in the documentary and he just captured it. He's really good. I
watched the doc. I can't wait to watch this. These type of stories I can't get enough of. I don't know about you, but
what's interesting is like being that they were Mormon.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is that being Mormon is what like contributed to them being so easily manipulated, but in the end, being Mormon and having a faith in a higher power in Jesus Christ is what kept them going after the tragedy and loving each other and staying a family. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a very weird thing.
Do you think Mormons, when Scientologists came along, they were like, phew, it's not us anymore. Yeah, we got a snake, but they got like spaceships and shit. Do you think they were like, yeah, those are the weird ones now?
I mean, I think the best thing about Mormons that people don't talk enough about is, besides them being like just extremely nice
so
when
friendly.
you meet them in hostesses,
yeah.
But they're also like very physically fit because they don't drink and they don't have coffee. But
they are kind of prescription pilled out. I mean,
so that's happening a lot more now.
When you go to Utah, do you play Salt Lake City at all?
Well, there's those signs about drug addiction everywhere.
It's like when you walk down the streets in Utah.
It's weird. It's
everyone's
weird.
just kind of smiling. Just
it
I'm
is
like,
kind of weird.
Everyone's Stepford-wived out.
Yeah.
They're high.
And it's very much like old fashioned. Like there is all of that. But I'm just saying some of the positives is like just the really wholesomeness of
Super
it.
nice.
Like their biggest thing is like it's dessert night. Like that's a big thing. That's like that's us going to Vegas for 24 hours and going to a nightclub. There's this want to get a sundae? Like it's like So, but anyway, this is crazy juicy.
I can't
Watch
wait.
that. Now, speaking of, this is interesting. There's some inside juicy scoop I'm going to give you. So, Colin Hanks is Tom Hanks' son.
Yes.
I believe from his first wife. Chet Hanks has been in the news a lot, and he is, I think, the son with Rita Wilson.
White rapper.
He's a white rapper. I just recently saw someone filmed him at like a family-friendly outdoor event where he was cursing and kind of going crazy, talking about sobriety and God and I don't know what. So on his Instagram, a Juicy Scooper that I follow, who's an aspiring comedian, she lives in Vegas, she's very cute, she sees that he does a reel and he says, hey, guys, all artists, calling all creative people, I am ready to help you right now. I have an amazing opportunity. I need to hear from musicians, writers. You know, I don't know if he said comedians, but he was like musicians, writers, anybody in the industry, DM me right now. So my girl, Luella, DMs him. And I got her permission to share this, okay? She's like, oh, I'm a comedian. And he goes, okay. So she goes, oh, I'm sober and I do stand-up. And he goes, great, let's go. And then, what are your goals? And she goes, oh, just to keep it going in the mode. I hit my year sobriety, and I just want to keep going. Not sure what I should next level up to. Well, the next level is dieting to your diet and your mindset. And she goes, okay, well, I'm gluten-free. I don't do sugars. He goes, no, it's okay, but it's not that simple for you to achieve your goals. This is what he says. You ready for the first steps?
Oh, no. Oh, can I guess?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so I can't imagine that he's gonna go straight sex. That seems like he knows he's Chet Hanks, and this gets, and he seems inspirational. So I think he is mentioning weight twice now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's gonna tell her she needs to drop a couple of pounds, like
already
25 pounds.
Okay, but she really can't lose 25 pounds because she's already like fit and tiny.
Oh, she is.
And he could see that.
Well, okay. All right. Then my second guess is that she's going to have to come over to his house to kind of show him what her skills are.
I think it's all worse than that. Self-mastery program.
Oh, no.
This is a cut and pasted DM that he sends to her. This is how it works. I make you a custom daily workout routine with videos on my private training app. We talk about your goals and I make your perfect meal plan, which we track daily. Our minds are our greatest assets or our worst enemies. So I will teach you the transcendental meditation technique and various reading materials to stimulate spiritual. And I'm guessing those reading materials are going to be extra. Stimulate spiritual, intellectual growth, cultivating a state of peace.
Wait, he's offering this program.
Yes, he's the person.
Oh.
24/7 support.
Chet Hanks is the person?
Yes. Weekly 60-minute video calls for a Q&A with myself and the team to answer everything about mindset, training, and nutrition.
That sounds like a punishment.
Okay, so now
I got to Zoom with Chet Hanks for 60 minutes?
that's what I said. Oh. Or how do you even know that he's ever going to show up? You're giving your Venmo. Okay, now guess how much?
But wait.
You got to guess how much?
He's never done anything successfully before.
Well,
but
everybody can be a coach. Okay. This is what kills me. It's like I believe in like coaching stuff. Like I think I have a pitch for moms out there. I have a great pitch for moms out there that are looking to do something.
Okay.
How about a domestic coach?
I love that.
Mom comes in or wife, or you don't have to be a mom.
Yep.
You just know you're a domestic person. You're not a licensed chef, but you know how to cook. You can figure out how to work the oven. Come to someone's house, show them this is how you do a roasted chicken. This is how you work the oven. Did you know that this is what the broil is for?
By the way,
this is how you warm a thing. This is da-da-da-da. How do I redo my air filters? I'm going to show you. And then you can call me anytime, and I'm your person to come by and help you,
You're
whatever.
describing to me what I would consider to be at this age, my perfect threesome.
Yeah.
I don't need another dick or another vagina, but someone to show me how to change the air filters.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm telling you. I have another friend who's a divorce coach, Alex Kapp.
Is that a real thing?
She got her coaching because there's a class you can take about being coach.
But what does that mean, divorce coach? You sit down with the two people?
It's kind of brilliant in that, like, you could go to her and she can, like, let's say you're thinking about getting divorced or you're getting a divorce. She can help you with a lot of stuff that you shouldn't be asking your attorney about because they're charging you $500 an hour.
But is this something that the husband and wife are doing together?
I don't know. It could be whatever you want. But she'll walk you through how to have like a good divorce, but she'll also give you the tips. So I'm like, you could actually call her and be like, I'm thinking about it. And she'll be like, okay, these are the 5 things you need to do the 2 months before you spring it on your husband. Stuff like that. Like get your ducks in a row.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not against people creating careers as coaches.
I agree.
But when it involves food and weight loss, I do think you should be a trainer or a nutritionist.
I agree. Can I ask about this, dude? So this hasn't told me how long this program lasts. So that's hard for me to judge.
I'm going to get right to it. I can't.
Is it $1,500?
No. It's $299 a month, but I give you a deal for an extra commitment. $750 for 3 months, $12.99 for 6 months, or for the whole year, $19.99, $2,000. Or stop if you really want to get to the level of Chet Hanks, son of Oscar winner. 60-minute one-on-one Zoom video call per week.
Pass.
We already got that at the $299 deal. Weekly reflection core principles sheet. So you're just going to get a ditto sheet like we were in kids here? There's a printout.
Do you know what's funny about that, Heather? When people put things like weekly reflection core principle sheet, that's one of those things where I know what all of those words mean individually, but together in that sentence, I have
bullshit.
No idea what that means all together.
Weekly non-negotiable tasks. So now you're just non-negotiable. He's just going to yell at me and like make me do 20 sit-ups or I don't know.
Does he not know who he is?
Okay. He's been right. Exactly. Talk about privilege. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Life, business, and personal growth focus because he's grown so many businesses.
Right? He's Chet Hanks. Like, Okay, yeah. Have you heard any of his raps?
No, but I mean, he's not Mark Cuban. You know,
No,
like it's
no.
not like I'm getting a weekly call with Mark Cuban or like and. I mean, come on.
Anybody with business acumen at all? Yeah, no.
Custom nutrition plan. 24/7 direct access to me. So what? I'm going to call you at 3 a.m. and you're going to answer.
Is his body that great? Am I missing
He's
something?
he's kind of cute, but like.
But how old is he? Like when you're 35, it's not that
Anyway,
hard to
guess
have
how much? Guess how much? Don't look at the screen. Guess
for
how
the elite part?
Yeah, elite.
He's 32.
He's 30. 2,000 a month.
I think you already looked, you liar.
I guessed 2,000 a month the
okay,
first time.
it's 2,000 a month, but for 3 months you can get it for $5,000.
Which part? Let me ask you. If you could pick one of those things,
Yeah.
that even looks, like you were like, yeah, I might do that. Do any of those look inviting to you? Because the 60-minute Zoom call, I don't even want to do with Beth.
Yeah, I don't want to do
A 60-minute Zoom call sounds horrible.
I know.
I can't imagine anybody that I want to do that with. Not
Neither
one
do
person.
I. No.
So, okay, so that's off the list. A weekly reflection. I don't know what that means.
I mean, basically, if you get this and you were really serious, and I doubt Chet's going to stick to his word. I don't know. Like, this is like your, like, what is this? Like, you're just talking to this person this whole. No, he's just going to. He probably has good intention of saying, if I get a client, I will do this for the person. But I mean, the person that would sign up for this, the only reason I'd want someone to sign up for it if they were like, can we also film it as a documentary?
That's what I'm saying.
Like. I need
Heather,
to see.
We can't go halvesies with this girl. We can't go halvesies on $2.99 a month for 3 months just to see.
Well, being that now we've talked about it in Juicy Scoop, he's probably not going to take her on as a client.
Just to see? Couldn't we find somebody just to see what it is? I mean, I'm so curious what this dude's weekly non-negotiable tasks are.
Okay, Juicy.
I'm so
what's the
curious.
thing that they say? Like, what's
tribute.
I volunteer for tribute. What is it?
Do you volunteer as tribute? This to me seems like it's worth the entertainment value alone to have a monthly check-in.
Sadly, I think it would be that you give your money and then you never hear from him. And then I mention it on Juicy Scoop and finally he's like, fuck you, I thought you were my friend, and gives half back. That's what I think what would happen.
Okay, or
you
get great content and he comes in and sits down.
Hey, Chet, you want to sell this thing?
Yeah, dude.
Come on down.
Come on.
You don't have to split the time with Ned from Try Guys. I will do 2 different episodes. Okay, I have another one for you.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the show Sistewives?
Very familiar.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Great. So Sistewives is a show that is so boring, I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
It's been on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Cody has 4 wives. At one time, for 3 years of the season, they lived in a perfect cul-de-sac in three TV seasons. They lived in a cul-de-sac, which worked out great. Each wife had their own home in Las Vegas, and he could pop around and go. Then he got the idea of, I bought this land called Coyote Pass out in Flagstaff, Arizona. They did that 3 years ago. They've never built on it. And then they moved there, and they all have to live so far away from each other because there was no houses close by that they end up not doing stuff together altogether. And he really was only sleeping, in my opinion, with wife number 4. And then COVID happens, and then he's a COVID freak about it and never sees any of his other kids or wives. And so now this one who's off to the side, Christine, she's like, I'm out. I don't fucking care. Okay. Gisele and I are going to get an apartment together and we're fucking done with you. Okay. So this girl, Merri, the one in the green, she's wife number 1. She also has been selling LuLaRoe leggings, which is a multi-level marketing thing, which also had a huge documentary about how it wasn't cool and how many women lost their money by buying all the ugly leggings and nobody wanted them, or they'd get the ugly leggings and they were moldy, or they'd be sent out to their people and they were, there's a whole documentary on it. So anyway, she's got to find a way to make some money, in my opinion, being that they've lost one income because all these wives help take care of all the properties and everything. Everybody works. Everyone has other jobs besides being on the show. How little does TLC pay these 4 people? I don't know, because they don't live a lavish life at all. Without a Crystal Ball brought it to my attention, this is an Instagram account, that Merri Brown is selling a retreat with no details and no itinerary, only empowerment and activities. So I went, she goes, beware, she might be using this to rope you into an MLM. So she says, okay, hey guys, I want to talk to you about the retreat. This is at fun activities. You get a goodie bag. It's women empowerment. I'm like, women empowerment? You were the first wife of 4. You actually divorced your husband so that he could legally marry wife number 4 and adopt her kids. You gave up your title as actual legal wife. Okay, that's not very empowering.
No.
And then you started to flirt with someone online and you were catfished. You thought he was a dude. It was a woman.
That happened to her?
That happened to her. But now, if you want to get some women empowerment, you're going to go to southern Utah, and it's $4,500. You arrive Thursday at 3 o'clock. We talk. We have some activities. And then we're not going to tell you what it is. It's a really fun activity. She keeps saying, I'm not going to tell you. You have to apply. Okay. You have to apply. And the application is like email, name, address, age, what you do, stuff about you, and couple other, not your social security number, but like basically anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, could she sell that info, or is she trying to find a person that might be a good potential wife? She's like, oh, sure, you can bring your husband if you want. But only the people who are the VIP, which I think it's $6,000, get to stay in the Airbnb, which looks like a grandma's house. Okay.
By the way,
it's not an Airbnb. It's a bed and breakfast.
What's in the goodie bag? Is it like a Capri Sun and like
I'm guessing it's a Capri Sun.
Yeah, like an apple?
Yes, an apple, a pair of LuLaRoe
Some
leggings.
special underwear?
Yes.
Secret
And
yeah.
So then now this she didn't say, but another person reported. So allegedly, if you do get chosen, you cannot ask one thing about Sistewives or the show. Why the fuck would you go? Why? Because I was literally like, can I pay a Juicy Scooper to go? And then you sign an NDA just in case she or anybody slips info.
But so she's not, there's no reason you would go to her for these things she's offering. She's not.
This is what you get gets included. 4 days, 3 nights accommodations in beautiful southern Utah.
Okay.
3 meals for the 2 full days, dinner on the first night, breakfast on the last morning. 2 to 5 daily activities, just 2 to 5. Might only be 2. It might be just a walk and then a meditation, okay?
2 to 5, all right.
Morning mindfulness and evening fire pit hangs. We get to have s'mores.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And like laugh, but don't ask about Sistewives.
No.
Don't ask how much you hate Cody or Robin or when you found out Christine was leaving. A goodie bag. LuLaRoe leggings, hopefully they won't be moldy, and a Capri Sun and an apple. Transportation during the retreat, we get a shitty van to go probably hike up some Utah mountain.
Dude.
Photos of the retreat. Oh, thank you. Someone has an iPhone?
What is happening?
And can do an airdrop?
This
Thanks
is
a lot.
$4,000?
It's $6,000 if you want to live, if you want to stay in one of the 4 bedrooms in her bed and breakfast that she owned with her mother. They probably go down this. They shouldn't say where the other. Those are other accommodations. We don't know if it's a Motel 6 or what.
Like horses, like a city slicker situation, or what are we talking about?
She goes, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. So we don't know what the activities are. We don't know if it's horseback riding. We don't know if it's climbing up a hill. We don't know if it's one of those things where you go in a cave and they don't give you any water so that you see light or whatever and then die. I don't know.
Are you more curious about this?
I'm not saying that's what it is. Don't sue me, Merri.
Are you more curious about this or Chet Hanks? I have to tell you, I'm still
curious about this.
I'm more curious about Chet Hanks. I really am dying to know what that 60-minute. I'm gonna have to pay somebody to do this. I'm gonna have to video. What is that 60-minute conversation?
I'm guessing you can't ask about his dad and his Toy Story.
I might pay somebody to do it for 3 months. If I do, can I come back on?
Can you ask him to do the Forrest Gump voice? Probably not.
Can I come back on and talk about it if I pay for someone to do it for 3 months?
100%.
Oh yeah, then we're gonna do this. This seems like,
and I need to be part of it.
Can't we just have her do it?
No, that's too much time.
Oh yeah, you're yeah.
And I don't want her being mind screwed by Chet Hanks. No, we're not.
Good point.
I'm not offering up Annie for sacrifice.
But you and I should pick the right tribute.
I mean, unfortunately, this girl Luella probably would have done it if I paid for her to do it and made her a Juicy Scoop spy. But now we've revealed it all.
You and I will maybe have to do a little undercover.
We'll
but I'm
figure it out.
happy This to me is like, I've never been more curious about what somebody was selling because he has no skill set, which is interesting.
You know who's also a life coach is Tori Spelling's brother. The brother. What's his name? What's the brother's name?
Bob Spelling?
No, I can't remember his name.
I didn't know she had a brother.
She had a brother that got to be on a couple of the shows in the beginning. Like he was like a secondary, or there was like a spinoff of 90210. Randy Spelling is. And he looks pretty great and he has like a normal life. I don't know if he really does it, but like again, a life coach from like the richest kid in Beverly Hills. Like that's, I mean, think about who you're hiring as a life coach. Like, you know, like I understand people have coaches for their jobs or whatever. And if you're in sales, it might really help to have someone that's like, wake up, asshole. Like, did you make your 10 cold calls today?
Yeah.
Like, I get that. But like, what's this person helping you with? It's just so weird.
Yeah, I agree. But by the way, I'm doing this. Chet Hanks is getting my money.
This was
gladly.
This was a weird thing I saw on TikTok. This comes from Whoa, That Is Strange, okay, on TikTok. And Lady Gaga comes out. Now, this could be fake. I don't know. And she's dancing in her concert thing, and it's like dark, and she's got this outfit on. And someone threw what looked to be a book, and it bounced off something. So people are thinking, well, maybe there's just glass in front of the stage to protect her. And other people are like, but what if it's a full-blown hologram?
Wow.
What if she's not even there?
Is there a video that we can see?
Well...
Did you see the video?
I did see the video, and I just took a photo of it.
Does it look like it bounced?
Yes, it looks like it's like hitting a piece of glass, and it bounces right off.
Well, I will tell you, you saw that comedian get that beer can thrown at her.
Yeah,
right?
we talked about that. Yeah.
So as a performer, and especially somebody like her who's performing in front of hundreds.
I just think it's a piece of glass. I think it's her. I don't think it's a hologram. I think it's a piece of glass. So maybe it's not that juicy.
But by the way, I would die to see one of her concerts. She seems like she would put on the best show.
What do you mean you die? You have money? Just fucking buy a ticket,
but then
loser.
I'd be really embarrassed to go.
Oh, shut up.
Which would be better? What's more embarrassed for me to go? To Miley Cyrus concert, which I want to go to?
Oh, go to Miley Cyrus.
I want to go see that so bad.
I love her singing. I would rather go to Miley Cyrus than Lady Gaga. No offense to Lady Gaga. I really like Miley Cyrus's style and her voice and her songs. I love when she redoes songs.
Me too.
Yeah.
And she sang a lot of rock songs. I'll tell you why I like her. I'm so just enamored with people who are that secure with themselves.
Yeah.
It's so watchable to watch somebody who doesn't give a fuck.
And she's someone that's sort of like, was a child star and kind of struggled a little bit in there, but really now found herself and is doing great. And, I
remember that last
But she has good parents. She does. She has good parents that are like...
Last episode of Chelsea Lately, I really wanted to get a picture with her, right? But I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I tell Jacob, I go, hey, here's the deal. You were going to walk up. I'm going to say, hey, can I get a picture of you and my son? And she'll say yes. And then when you are with her, say, hey, Dad, I want you to get in this picture with me.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be embarrassed and ask Miley for a picture, right? And he goes, okay. So he walks up. And I do it. I go, hey, will you take a picture of my son? She goes, yeah. And they put their arm around it. And Jacob goes, I got to tell you, I didn't want the picture. He did. He was just embarrassed to ask. And she was like, I know. She was like, get in the picture. He threw me smooth under the bus. But she was like, yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of dudes this age. They all want they're all looking for pictures of me.
And she's so
cool.
But she's also really cool and gracious.
Yes,
like I've seen
cool.
other.
So cool.
Okay, Madonna. People are freaked out about her look.
Yeah, this is not...
She now has pink hair, and she's doing this thing that's becoming in fashion again, which I hate, which is bleaching the brows.
Yeah, I don't think that
so
looks
that
good
is
either.
the worst look on everybody. I hate it.
Especially with whatever she's done to her face there.
And I just want to say, what's kind of sad is, like, you're Madonna. Yeah. Like, just fucking let it go.
Yeah.
Like, you could still have plastic surgery and stuff. But stop with the grill. Stop with the fake ass. Like, this is what her outfit should just be, like a black cat suit, some cool motorcycle boots, because when you're 63, you don't want to wear heels.
Yep.
And just like a leather jacket and some
By the way,
jewels.
she can still
and just,
work out and look good.
And let your blonde hair go and just be like cool and not be like trying so hard. Like, just, that's what kind of bums me out. Like, it's just scary. You don't need to do TikTok trends.
No.
Like, be a mentor to other singers and just be cool fucking Madonna.
At some point, here's the deal for real. And I don't have my glasses, so when the picture first came up, I'm like, what is Mickey Rourke doing?
Yeah.
I was like, and then I looked at him, I'm like, oh, that's Madonna.
It's that it's like that mask face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But
it's hard. It's a hard thing. I mean, it's,
you know what?
And we're all aging, and it's hard because it's like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I get why you want to do it. And some people do it really well, and some people have a good face for aging, and some don't.
But
and
you
it's
have to
like,
make some choices.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, for me, the choice that I've made is I know my face has gotten a lot thinner, but that's just because I like the way I work out. So I know at my age, it's not going to hold on to the fat on my face.
Right.
You just have to choose as you get older. It's not going to look perfect anymore.
Right. Got to let it go.
Yeah. You got to let it go, especially you're fucking Madonna.
But also,
you know what I mean?
It kind of makes sense that of the rock stars like her, who's now in their 60s, that she's still chasing the fit. Like, if you look at her life and how she lived it and how she always needed to be the center of attention. I mean, she always needed to be the cutting edge. She changed her style all the time. Versus like, Reba McEntire or something, like, who continues on to perform, but like didn't feel like, oh, I have to go with every trend or whatever. And it's not like that makes her a bad person. It's just like, it's like, I think we could pick who in society will go with the times and still remain relevant in like a cool, respectable way, and who will be wearing grills and a fake ass at 65.
Does she have a fake ass? I didn't say.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you something. I was always like, her workout routines must have been crazy.
Yeah.
But there are ways like Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
She looks great. She's done some whatever.
Everybody
does whatever.
I don't even think it's about plastic surgery. I think it's about trying to stay with the trends and the youth and the outfits and the fake ass at 63. Like, I'm just like,
yeah.
And even if you got one, just because you like the way it looks when you're naked or in a bathing suit or with your boyfriend, then you don't need to wear a G-string and like fishnets. But someone else would go, fuck you, Heather. Like, you're not being a feminist. Let her be what she wants to be. Okay, fine.
But
fine.
Here's the deal. Here's what I would say. I agree with, and by the way, two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
I do agree. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is your life. But this looks sad. This looks like somebody who doesn't feel good about themselves and is just trying. But like, if she showed up, dude, I've changed my clothing style so much in the last 2 years, so it's hard for me to comment on other people's. But like, this feels a little sad. She's fucking Madonna.
That's what I think. You're Madonna.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh, tell everybody what the latest thing you're working on and how much they're going to love it.
So I shot 10 episodes of this show with my son Jacob. It's a father-son competition show. We challenge each other to things, and the loser has to do like an embarrassing punishment. I pitched this to a bunch of networks, and every time I did, they tried to tell me what the show was or what it wasn't or why it wouldn't work. And then I was like, fuck it. And it's why I was saying that people like you inspired me, because I was like, I'm just going to do this myself. I'm going to shoot it myself. I'm going to fund it myself. I'm going to write it myself. I'm going to tell you, it's the best thing I've ever done.
That is so awesome. And I love that you're working with him. He's always been such a good boy from the moment I met him. And like, I love that you guys work together, and it's great.
It's if you 100% a show you could watch with your teenager, probably not younger than that, but it's fun. It's called Family Tussle. It's on my YouTube channel. It premieres tomorrow. But it is like, and you watched an episode, basically the punishments are rough.
Yeah.
The punishments that we make each other do are rough. But like, for example, on one of mine, he made me get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say what the tattoo was. I don't like it.
And you really got it?
Oh, it's on my body right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on I actually posted a clip.
And how many tattoos do you have? You don't have that many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6.
So that's a pretty big deal to get a tattoo.
Yeah. By the way, when Beth saw it, she was like, "You didn't want to run this past me?" And I said, "Nah, I was pretty sure you were going to say no." She was like, "Yeah, this is not. I'm not."
Well, you're like, but it makes for great TV. Yeah.
Great TV.
TV, which is on YouTube, which I love.
But like, my YouTube channel gets more views than the TV networks.
Oh, I know.
So like, It's so. Listen,
So how do they go to it to subscribe?
Yeah,
just
YouTube,
Wolf,
Josh
just
Wolf
type
Comedy on YouTube, and then it'll follow up a week later on Facebook. So you can see us on there. And then Jacob and I are touring Australia and New Zealand.
So fun. I wanted to ask you all about that.
Yeah, our first show sold out in 2 days.
Okay, because I know I've got a lot of Juicy Scoopers out in Australia.
Yeah.
So let's talk after about
Yeah.
like where you went and stuff, because that would be really fun, especially if I could make it a vacation and bring my family. I just don't want to be, by myself
We're going to
over there.
Australia and New Zealand.
Fun.
New Zealand is the best place I've ever visited. It's so great.
Wait, you'd gone before?
I've done a tour of Australia and New Zealand
Oh, okay.
before.
Oh, well, then that probably helps too, that you've been there. But
So much. But Heather, you 100% should go. Remember that we did go to Australia once together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this trip, yours would be so much different and so cool. And the crowds are amazing. Amazing.
I know. I loved it when I was there. When we were in Sydney, I was like, Sydney is the best of LA, Miami, and like Toronto.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like rolled into one, but then it's a whole nother country.
It's gorgeous.
Of like just extremely attractive people.
Yeah. With
very
that
nice.
accent. You're like,
very
oh,
nice.
boy.
And a hot accent.
Yeah, it's like.
And koala bears. I don't know what else anybody else wants.
By the way, why? Every time when I'm talking about going to Australia, people are like, don't pet the koala. They got chlamydia. I'm like, what do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm fucking the koala? I don't need the chlamydia warning from the koala bears.
So funny.
But I'm excited to go and
all right, cool.
Excited to be with Jacob. And guys, here's what I would say. It would mean so much if you could at least check out the show on YouTube. Look, these people, the execs in our business, are non-creative people who try to make creative decisions all the time. And so I'm tired of them telling us what we can and can't do. This is great entertainment. It's the best thing I've ever done. I can't wait for people to see it.
Awesome. I love you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.